Morning, everybody. How you doing today? It's still morning, I think. It's ridiculously early. I'm out on the West Coast. Did not adjust to the time yet. Had to do my radio column for CBC Ottawa Morning as well. So up a little earlier than I would have liked. And obviously coming to you from a glamorous business travel hotel room. What I wanted to talk today about is discussions at scale. And that sounds really weird, given that normally, we cover security, privacy, technology, that kind of stuff. But I noticed when I was writing up the column for today for the radio thing, which will be up on my website, markn.ca, shortly, as soon as CBC posts the audio clip. And we're talking about deep fakes today. So videos where you superimpose the image of one person onto footage of another in order to fake things out. Interesting technology, but also really interesting implications for society, right? So the tech column, we try to cover things that are a little more broad-based. But one of the things that I realized when I was writing it up for my site was that I was ending it, with more discussions are required. And it was the same thing when I covered facial recognition. Said, more discussions are required. Same with encryption, same with all this kind of thing. And even with the main issues that I tackle around security culture, around development culture, around IT culture, discussions are required. The problem is they're required at scale. And discussions don't work at scale. Good friend of mine, Ben Kehoe, and I were at the AWS New York Summit a couple weeks ago, or last week. Losing track of time for the summer. And one of the things he had mentioned was that he gave a talk in the Dev Lounge, and so did I, and he said, he was hoping for more interactivity. The problem is it was, speaker, 250, 300 people. You can't really have interactivity, and he was sort of lamenting the lack of what would have been great engagement and discussion, and I totally get it. Because, talking to Ben, talking to friends at that summit, great discussion in a small group, really everybody came away with a better knowing more, with sort of just a better experience. And that's the thing, is ideas get better when we talk them out. We agree on community boundaries. We agree, on usage of technology, on implications of technology. Things like this need to be discussed. The challenge you get is discussions don't work beyond a few people. So in that case, one of us trying to have a discussion with 300 people is not going to fly. Even trying to have a discussion with 50 people isn't going to fly. Really, basically, if you move beyond the two pizza team, AWS has got that right. Beyond the two pizza team is really starts to break down, right? So if you've got more than, a dozen people, it's absolutely unmanageable. Even with a dozen people, it's really, really difficult depending on the personality mix. So discussions really don't scale past a few people. So in that case, how do you have a discussion at a society level? I don't know. Really, that's what it comes down to. So some friends of mine work at Policy Horizons Canada. I think that's the official name. They keep changing their name like every government agency, but they're responsible for government foresight. And a lot of them, what they do is they work on where things are going. They work on a lot of community engagement, a lot of facilitation, a lot of workshopping. And this stuff is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely think it's wonderful to get out there and engage with people. But even they, who are experts at this, can't scale it beyond, a small audience. And it's sort of, you need this network umbrella effect of, you'll get a few people, then you'll scale it, and they'll scale it to a few people, and it just keeps going that way. But the challenge there is that, like the old game of telephone, when I tell you something and you tell someone else something and they keep going bing, 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 the message gets lost. So that method of engagement is really difficult to do. Within an organization, it might be achievable. You might be able to do that sort of umbrella and keep people engaged and moving forward. But to have a discussion at a society level, the best thing we do is sort of community engagement, where people will come and testify in front of government or give their opinion on public website, and then, some public servant will compile that all together, and somebody will make a decision later. But even that's not effective. That's not discussion. That's just people commenting, and commenting is not discussion. And we know from everywhere on the internet, discussion is very, very difficult. People start to go to the lowest common denominator really, really quickly, and pull out old grudges or go on tangents. Discussion is best in small groups with a common goal and a stated goal, or mutual respect, or both. Mutual respect to help people move forward. So I keep coming back to this. Technology like facial recognition. How do we have a discussion at scale on what we want as a community? How do we use that? Technology like the deepfakes. How do we have a discussion at scale? Take that down a level from just the community. The other big level of communities, encryption is a massive debate that we need to have as a society and a community. How do you manage that? I don't know. I don't think any of the public consultations in any of the countries I've been involved in them with have been effective. There's a lot of stuff on the record that just sits there and really doesn't drive anything. So a lot of my work, if you guys have been following me, and thank you for following me, even here, I'm in San Francisco for Serverless Conference, and my topic is really helping the people who are at Serverless Conference, which are a whole bunch of builders, helping them understand the culture behind security and the challenges they face interfacing with security, and the challenges security has whether they realize it or not from a culture perspective. How do you scale that up? I don't know. My approach right now is just chipping away. A little bit at a time, just trying to help people change sort of one mind at a time. But that obviously one mind at a time in itself is a perfect example of how this does not scale. So I don't know. This is a total random. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. Hit me up online, Mark NCA. On all the social networks. Hit me up in the comments down below if you're watching the vlog, or as always by email, me@markn.ca. How do you get any sort of productive discussion, any sort of productive engagement scaled beyond a handful of people? Tips, tricks, always out there. I think I am not super optimistic, but I'm hoping somebody comes and says, hey, you forgot this one thing, and it's super easy, and it works for everyone. My improv lighting just fell. But I don't know. It's going to come up more and more again. I think I'm trying on multiple levels to engage discussion at scale. Would love to hear what you guys are thinking. Let me know. I hope you are set up for a fantastic Monday. It's Monday. I hope to talk to you online, and I will see you tomorrow on the show.